Life on our planet, it's this incredible, delicate web, right? A beautiful, complicated balance of millions of species. But that balance is super fragile. And right now, we're in real danger of losing pieces of that web. Forever. So, let's get right into it. Okay, let's just rip the Band-Aid off and start with the end game. Extinction. This isn't just when a species gets rare. This is when it's gone, like completely gone. When that very last one dies, an entire story that took millions of years to write just ends. Yeah, that's a pretty heavy thought, I get it, but we have to understand it. So that leads us to the two big questions we're going to dig into. How in the world does this happen? And maybe more importantly, what on earth are we doing to stop it? To answer that first question, we've got to look at one of the single biggest things driving this crisis, something that is literally changing the face of our planet. And that something is deforestation. We're not talking about cutting down a few trees in the backyard. This is the massive, large-scale removal of entire forests to make way for things like farms, cities, or industry. And get this, some estimates say we lose an area of forest the size of a football field every single second. That's just wild. And when a forest vanishes, it's not just the trees that we lose. The fallout is huge, and it's like a domino effect. First, you get a massive loss of biodiversity because countless species lose their homes. Then, it messes with the climate. See, forests are like the planet's lungs. They absorb carbon dioxide. When they're gone, that CO2 just sits up there, trapping heat like a blanket, which is the greenhouse effect that drives global warming. On top of that, the soil washes away, turning good land into desert, and even the rain patterns get all messed up. It's a huge chain reaction that affects, well, everything, including us. Okay, so to really get what this whole fight is about, we need to speak the language. There are a few key terms that really define what's at stake here. And this, right here, is the prize, biodiversity. It's just the awesome variety of all life in one place. We're talking everything from the tiniest bug to the biggest elephant, every kind of plant, every kind of mushroom. That variety is exactly what makes an ecosystem healthy and strong. And we usually break that down into two simple groups. You've got flora, that's all the plant life. Think trees, flowers, ferns, that kind of thing. And then you've got fauna, that's all the animal life. Birds, bears, bugs. Flora and fauna. Simple, but you hear them all the time. So what happens when a particular type of fauna or flora gets into deep trouble? Well, that's when we get to this critical stage. An endangered species isn't just rare. It means its population is shrinking, and shrinking fast. So fast that it's on a collision course with that point of no return we started with, extinction. And this isn't just guesswork, by the way. Scientists and conservationists track all of this super carefully. The official global ledger for this stuff is called the Red Data Book. You can basically think of it as the planet's most critical to-do list, a record of every single species that desperately needs our help. All right, so we've defined the problem, we know the lingo. So how do we fight back? Well, a huge part of the battle for survival happens in specially protected places. Now, you've probably heard of these two. First up, a wildlife sanctuary. Its main job is usually to protect specific animals and their habitats, and some human activities might be allowed, but under really strict rules. But then you have a national park, and that's usually a whole other level. The goal there isn't just one animal, it's to protect the entire ecosystem, the plants, the animals, the landscape, the whole shebang. So as you can see, the legal protection is much higher and the rules are way stricter. And then there's a third type, which is a really fascinating idea, the biosphere reserve. What's so cool about this is its goal isn't just to protect plants and animals. It's also about protecting the local human culture and the traditional ways of life that have existed in that environment for generations. For a real-world example, just look at the Pachmarhi Biosphere Reserve in India. It's home to incredible animals like tigers and leopards. But what's really amazing is its location. It's this unique biological crossroads where species you'd normally find way up in the Himalayas meet species from the Western Ghats Mountains. It's an incredible melting pot of life. And it's in places just like these that some of conservation's greatest dramas unfold. So let's zoom in on one of the most iconic comeback stories of all time, the tale of the tiger. I mean, what an animal. So powerful, so majestic. It's revered, it's feared, it's a true symbol of the wild. And yet, for all its strength, the tiger found itself pushed right to the very brink of disappearing from our planet. And this number right here tells the whole story. Just let that sink in. In India, the tiger population dropped from an estimated 40,000 all the way down to just 1,827 in a matter of decades. This wasn't a decline, it was a total freefall. It was an absolute crisis, driven by hunting and that habitat loss from deforestation we talked about. The alarm bells weren't just ringing, they were screaming. But here's the amazing part. People took action. A special task force was set up in 1970. By 1973, Project Tiger was officially launched, a massive, nationwide effort to save the species. And the project kept evolving, too, eventually using modern tech like camera traps and advanced mapping systems to get a much more accurate count. And the result of all that effort? Today, there's a network of over 50 tiger reserves all across India, creating this web of protection. Project Tiger didn't just stop the decline. It actually started to turn it around, and it's now seen as one of the world's greatest conservation success stories. So that story shows what's possible with a huge, dedicated effort. But the fight for conservation isn't just about big government projects. It's also about simple, powerful actions anyone can take. So on one side, you have reforestation, which is basically the direct counterattack to deforestation, rebuilding habitats one tree at a time. And on the other side, you've got something many of us can do every single day, recycling paper. It might seem like a small thing, but the impact is massive. Every ton of recycled paper saves about 17 trees, but it also saves tons of water and cuts way down on pollution. It's proof that small actions, when we all do them, add up to huge change. And that really brings us back to the heart of the matter. This quote here says it all, really. It's not just about saving the big, famous animals. Every single living thing, no matter how small you think it is, has a job to do. It's a crucial piece of the puzzle that keeps the whole system in balance. You can think of it like this. Every species is a character in the grand story of our planet. And when you lose one of those characters, it leaves a hole in the story that can never be filled. The plot is just broken. So the question we're left with is, what happens to the story when its characters start to disappear?